take this into another document. So I click off of it, nothing selected. I go up here to document setup, edit artboards. Shift that out. And again, for now, I'm going to call this ink. And then I'm going to put something under here and I'm going to call, this is how I do it. I'm going to call it base. I want to make another layer called color for now. So I'm going to lock off the other two because I don't need those. And I've got this underneath my ink. Now I'll show you an easier way to do this later on, but I'm going to do it real quick this way. You have a line here. So all you have to do is just keep your selection under that line and you'll be fine. Okay. So what I mean is it doesn't have to be some perfect selection. I can literally, let me get rid of this. So it doesn't matter that this is going to be a fairly jagged line because it's under the darker one, bigger, the fatter one. That's a funky line, so I'll just go back. And what I'm doing here is I'm just going around the perimeter. And I'm making an overall shape. So that's a little off, but I'll fix that in a minute. I usually in Illustrator, I like to create a base layer of color. You don't have to, but it unifies everything. It's just the way I kind of paint anyway. So it's like. Almost there. Okay, you guys see that? I made a big shape and I closed it. Does that make sense? Because you could do this if you want. You could just sample the color off it if you want. I don't care. So I'm going to take this base thing. I'm going to select it. And then I'm just going to go over here with my eyedropper tool. And now we have that. So if I turn off the line, you can see it's a pretty jaggedy selection. It doesn't matter. It's hidden under the line. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, we're going to go pretty much immediately from this into, we're pretty close to immediately, into shape building where we're not using line. Then that jaggedy stuff and all that stuff won't fly. But for now, it does. Okay. Because it doesn't matter. So who cares? And then I kind of look at it. Usually I make sure I don't have any. I know there was one over here somewhere. Right there. See that? So I go with my white arrow tool, grab that, and just move that over where it belongs. Now, I don't know who inked this one, but that isn't right. This right there, that break right there is not good. And then right here, I've got a problem. So I'm just going to grab this and fix it. There's a little problem right here. Grab that, clean it up, grab this, clean it up. You know, and I just make sure I got them all. I'm usually pretty careful about it when I'm doing it. I'm just trying to do these fast. You know, I just make sure everything's good. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, so now I always say big to small, okay? Hang on. So that's how I'm thinking, big to small, big to small, big to small. So let's go to this. What we'll go to today is probably up to shadows. And then tomorrow I'll go into highlights. Okay, so let's go. So now I'm going to go. Now you have to be smart. How do I pick these different sections? Can't make it in one curve. Make it in two. Oops. Sometimes I just do a jaggedy like that because it's faster. I'm going to plot out. There's another shape. Now I'm going to go. There it is. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes
So
sense.
let's do one more shape here, because then I'll show you how you can get a shadow value. Really simple way to get a shadow value. Okay, these are all the same color, so that's good. Now I'm still on base. I actually don't want to be on base. So I'm going to take both of these. I like keeping I'm going to go X, Lock this off, open up color. So I like to keep these things organized. There we go. Now this one goes to this color. And I would continue, you know, blocking out all these different sections, right? And you can change the color, I could care less. So now I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna go. Let's take this little area right here. Now there's other ways I'll show you how to do this later, but here's one. I'll show you how to do this stuff with using shape tools later. For now, we need to learn this. And now I'm going to take that shape. Let's do this. Let's go X. And let's say I put all my color together. All this was colored first before I go to shadows. Then we go shadows. Drop this back in. Then I'm going to go over here to my general swatch palette. This is my I think these are just print these colors. But if you notice down here, they have a gray scale. Okay, so I'm going to pick a gray like this one. Okay, that's on line. Okay, you guys. So when you see it, and you go, how come it's not filling it? Because it did the line. I don't want a line, so I'm going to go right here to this little, you know, the little thing to get rid of it. Tap this, pull it forward, and then go back to here and go pick a. Now I got a gray. Okay. Now, if you guys have been in Illustrator or Photoshop, you know about layer blends, correct?
Yes.
So this has layer blends too, but they don't live under layers. Okay, they live under transparency, which is its own window or its own palette. Okay, where do all the palettes live? Under windows. So if you want transparency, you would go down here, go transparency. I think I already have it. Let's see. Yeah, I already have it right there. And right here are your overlays. Okay, so what we're going to do is just go, because this is a gray, we're going to go to multiply. And it creates a shadow value. You guys see that? Now, I think that's a little dark, so I'm going to go back and change it to a lighter bit gray. And I could just dial it in, like maybe that's good. And then when I come up here and go, let's get another shadow value. This one would be connected here. Can't do it in one turn. It's good. And now when I go to my, I'm going to select this. And now when I go to my eyedropper tool and select this, it's not really that dark, but that's okay. It's gonna, let's do one more shadow value, just real quick. Now when I go to my eyedropper tool and select this, it also selects the multiply overlay. So now I can just go through here, make all my shadow values, select the one, and it's going to apply it to every color, to every gray. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And as far as that part of it, that's all there is to it. Okay, we have one more thing to go and we'll do that tomorrow. Because that's also another discussion on another tool, but we're pretty much in the same tool. What you got to remember going from Photoshop to this is your overlays don't live in layers. I don't know why they don't, by the way. I guess in some ways that makes sense. It lives under transparency.